Hello guys, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm your humble presenter of the program The Focal Point. As the demand for critical analysis and reliable information continues to be the appetite of the Liberian population, it is incumbent upon media practitioners to always be objective, independent, and fact-based in their reportorial duties. The clarion call for credible, reliable, and issue-based presentation must be considered at all times. In the wake of these functions and duty to service, it is only one show that stands tall among the rest. Focal Point, a program where we scrutinize, examine, and cross-examine by allowing the audience participate by posting and calling and commenting on the subject under discussion. We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them, and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular Monday friend, K. Lyndon Togbat, on the Focal Online TV.
Okay, folks, good evening, wherever you are watching from, whatever your geographical location may be. This is how I choose to welcome you to the program of Focal Point on Focal Online TV. We are coming to you from the beautiful plain of Japan Freeway. We are located within the Choco Village community. It's such a pleasure to be here. Like always, this morning we were actually experiencing a severe internet challenge. However, our technical team is currently working on it to ensure that we have the best and the best output in terms of our broadcast. So it's actually good to be back here. The technical team is still working on the process, trying to have us obtain our regular speed and that enables us to produce the most effective broadcast content. So it's actually good to be back here, like I said. So too many things happening. The weekend was so very long. The weekend was very long. We had two holidays in last week, and that made us to experience a very very long weekend. The weekend was so much lively to other people. We was so sad to other people, but that's the beauty. That's the beauty of life. Life has to go. Life has to go on. So too many things happening in our country, like Liberia. So we are hoping that our guests can come in studio. We are going to discuss education on today. But we hope that our guests can come in studio, at which time we will definitely discuss education because we have discussed politics. We have discussed politics, too many politics issues, political issues, the debate about some of those critical political issues in our country, like Liberia. Politics is not finished. This is a continuous process from one generation to another generations. It would be here, it would be there. Our generation will come and go. But the beauty about politics is that uh, it gave us a space for us to cross pollinate our ideas. So that's it. So these issues about the war and economic crime court is still making some headway within the political corridor of Liberia. Since this war crime code was introduced, it has overshadowed almost all of the discussions we have in this country. Initially, before the war crime code became the most talked about situations in the country, we had the issues about tenure position. Although the tenure position has not been conclusively concluded, uh, but the war crime code, the war crime code debate has overshadowed even the tenure position issue. Even though, based upon our understanding that the Supreme Court has those tenure officers who felt that they didn't violate any other code of conduct, as the government have earlier said. because there was time where there were time where Benjamin Keita said that the government supported those people, the government has every other means to say that those people shouldn't be there. He cited Article 56(8) of the Constitution that talks about the pleasure of the president. We all understand that the president has the power. The Constitution, the framers of the Constitutions are very, very wise. Those people who crafted the Constitution were very, very, they were very, very excellent. Those were the best brains that were selected to coin those legal documents together. So the Constitution, the 1986 Constitution, which is now in use, is the most powerful legal instrument in our country. This is an instrument that is used to regulate much of the things in government within the cycle, even though there are other regulations in government. But Benjamin Keita said that the president has those appointed by the president work in accordance with the will and pleasure of the president, despite the Unity Party, when they were in opposition, they criticized the idea of people of the president or former president George Manuel making an attempt to strip some individuals from their tenure position. You understand? So nowadays, they are now seated in the driving seat. They have now opened the very thing they once criticized in the past. So some people were actually over the fact that it was quite surprising to many people, owing to the fact that something you criticized few years ago, this is the very thing you are about to do. This is the very thing you are about to do. So those are debates that have been, but the war crime court issue has overshadowed every other thing. So let's look. We have another voice who has joined other forces. This person is Albert Tubechi, the immediate past president pro tempore of the Liberian Senate. He served as pro tempore of the Liberian Senate during the era of the 54th legislature. So he didn't, he didn't contest that. He decided to remain neutral, and he was one person who was placed under sanction by the U.S. government for several, based upon several allegations. So the reason why I'm using allegations is because when you are being sanctioned, that is an allegation until it can be proven through the basis of a competent court of jurisdictions. Through a basis of competent court of jurisdiction. So one of the local dailies that is Front Page Africa, they highlighted it. He said, this is what he's saying. Former pro tempore Abachie recommends separating war crime code from economic crimes code. Former pro tempore Abachie recommends separating war crime code from economic crime code. Yes, because this issue has been, it has been, most people, whenever they talk about this particular issue, they only reference the issues about the war and economic crime code. Let's see what Jay has to say and why he won the government, or why he won those people who are close with the authority or who have been engaging into said dialogue. Why is it that he won the war crime code should be separated from the economic crime code? Is it that he is trying to shield some of the people who probably may have committed war or economic crimes? So, the TRC report. Sometimes when people talk about the TRC report, they do not go into the real issues. The TRC report is actually a voluminous document. It's an elaborate document. Most people are not very keen about discussing some of those recommendations. The most important thing that has been discussed is that you will often hear them is that the TRC report said in one of its recommendations, they said we should, the government should establish an extra, an extra, an extra tribunal to try those people who committed heinous crimes in Liberia. Yes, that is true. But there are a series of recommendations the TRC spoke about. Several of the recommendations. I am not against the fact that Liberians, you know, on the large scale, are mostly interested in the establishment or in the call for the establishment of war and economic crime court. I am saying that there are several other recommendations. Mind you, those people who work, those people who crafted those documents may have seen the situation, may have understood the cause of the conflict. They may have identified the problems that led Liberia to the 14 years of brutal civil war. So all of those recommendations as enshrined within the TRC report, they are very, very important. All of those recommendations, they are very, very important. But my disappointment here, the last time I have not been able to exhaust the entire TRC report. I have not. The report is so, the report is so elaborate that you need to be very careful in terms of analyzing, the entire report, because it is so, it is so voluminous. So many times you hear people, we want to establish the court, but there are other recommendations that people made. The TRC at the time, while they were conducting their report, they were also being criticized by other Liberians, owing to the fact that Charles Taylor now had the opportunity to testify before the commissioners of the TRC, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So if you actually look into the TRC report, those individuals, not only them, but other individuals have been labeled in the report that they need to appear for further investigations. They need to appear before a board of competent of investigators to actually answer questions for their participations, for their influence into the 14 years of civil conflict we have in this country. So we need to be very serious as a country. If we are particular about the call for the war and economic crime code, that is important. For me, I believe that there have been the issues about the war crime code has long overdue, specifically with regards to the call for the establishment of the court. I believe that while we were fighting the war, there were other people who were engaged into economic crimes. Not only during the period of the civil conflict we had in Liberia, of the 14 years senseless and brutal civil war we had in this country. I believe that war crime code should also be established. If war crime code is established, it will end the culture of impunity. The reason why we continue to have a lot of these people into our politics and making threats that has the propensity to destabilize this country is because we allow them to participate into our body politics. We allow them to hold strategic governmental positions. Let's look at, for an example, Yahya Nimle of Grand Jida County, Senator Yahya Nimle of Grand Jida County. When you have decent people who could represent the people of Grenada County, the electors went to work for reason best known to them. Probably it was on the basis of what Yahya Nimle did for them at the time when the country was at, when the country was at a loggerhead. That could probably be the reason why the people of Grenada County decided to vote Senator Yahya Nimle. So obviously, based upon his involvement into this 14 years of civil war we had in this country, nobody would want Yahya Nimle would not want to support the call for the establishment of War and Economic Crime Court, despite the lower house, the majority bloc has signed resolutions demanding the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Court in Liberia. You understand? The likes of Prince Johnson. And Prince Johnson is one person who did it. I sometimes, when you are listening to other people who say that, the issues about the economic crime code, it is, it that, it is, it shouldn't be under the first years of Joseph Boakar's leadership. I get disappointed. If you actually look at when the TRCs concluded their report, the people concluded their entire investigations and compiled the report and submitted it to the government. At the time, it rested on the shoulder of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to actually implement those recommendations within the TRC report. Because Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former president of Liberia, now former president of Liberia, felt that if at all she was going to adhere to the recommendation of the TRC, most importantly, the one that talked about the establishment of the extra tribunal to try those people, those major actors, one way or the other, she was going to be shooting herself in the leg. So Ellen did little of nothing to establish the War and Economic Crime Court. It came to George Weah. When many Liberians felt that George Weah could definitely be the right man to establish. From 2005, if you ask many Seditians, many Liberians, what do they make of the War and Economic Crime Court being established? Of all of the presidential candidates we had, many of them will tell you that, yes, indeed, George Weah was the kind of man who was best suited to amplify the call and to definitely implement the recommendations from the TRC report. So many people, when George Weah got elected in 2017 as the president of the country, there were a lot of the people who felt that George Weah could definitely adhere to the recommendations of the TRC report. But there were processes that led George Weah to the executive mansions. There were processes, and it was based on those processes. It was based on those drama that led George Weah to, the former warlord turned Senator Prince Johnson, who also hailed from the second vote-rich county of Liberia, played a very pivotal role to have George Weah going to the executive mansions in 2017. We all in Liberia, we understood how the political space, how the politics went at the time. But that doesn't anyhow give ground for George Weah to renege on the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Court to implement or further institute those recommendations as enshrined within the TRC report. Only because he needed to appease a particular person. These issues about the war and economic crime code has long overdue. Probably the immediate past, Senate Pro Tempore Abatier, who is calling on that there should be a distinction between the war and economic crime, the war code, the war crime code rather, and that of the economic crime code. Probably he could be making a lot of sense. But is he being sincere about the process? He said as pro tempore for the last 6 years, a very influential man in the past in the past government. We didn't see him making a lot of statements regarding the call for the establishment of the war and economic crime code. Is he being sincere about the process? So sometimes when people talk, when people talk about we should be able to judge them, we should be able to evaluate them on the basis of their past relationship. Why is it that he is calling for the war and economic crime code when he had much influence in the past government, but he never spoke pertaining to the war and economic crime code, or we never heard him speaking so very hard about the war and economic crime code? Those are issues we need to understand. Those are questions that keep lingering in my mind. Why is it that Senator Chie didn't speak about the war and economic crime code? Why? Is he trying to use that to get many Liberians to him? Or is he trying to solidify his relationship? Because during the 2023 elections, or prior to the 2023 elections, we heard that he was playing double standard, that he was one person who was being elected or playing double standard. He was actually he was secretly canvassing for the Unity Party, supporting the presidential bid of now President Joseph Boakai, while he was also playing a game with the CDC. Is he trying to pave a way so that he can have a very good face with the Unity Party administration? Those are key things Liberians are thinking about. So the war crime court issue, if you actually look, there is a portion within the TRC report that talks about blanket amnesty. The TRC in its report, they were very emphatic. They were very clear in their report. They spoke about granting amnesty. And if you actually exhaust the entire report, you will notice there is a specific categories of people the TRC report talk about who should be exonerated. Those people are people who should not go for prosecution. Though, like I am saying, if you actually read down to that particular portion of the report, they say those who were below the age of 18. In that report, in the TRC report we are talking about, they classify those people as as underage. Those people probably were influenced because at some point in your life, sometimes when you are younger, sometimes you do not have an independent stance of making a very sound judgment. So there is a high possibility that somebody can easily, somebody negatively exploit the fact that you are underage and say, and let's go, come go and do this thing. At that time, you are doing what you are doing is you are doing it under duress because somebody is influencing you to do it. Somebody is coercing you to do it. So because of that, you are not going to be. That is the only kind of people. That is the only kind of people they have labeled in the TRC report. Those are the people who should be receiving amnesty based upon what the content of the report is, or the content of the report says. Sometimes I listen to all Liberians, and there are Liberians who have different views relative to the call for the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Code. Why it should be one of the most talked about issues in our country. We have the bread and butter issues that should be prioritized. Then we are talking about the War and Economic Crime Code. I'm not saying that the bread and butter issues is not important. What I'm saying here is that those recommendations from the TRC report has lasted for years. It's just like you invested. You have several organizations that invested their money. They supported massively the efforts of the TRC. So, which one of the agency? Let's put it in our shoe. Why would you choose to invest your money into a particular work, a particular venture, that the overall purpose would just be about just preserving it and just be laying down? Because that is it. You have the U.S. Embassy support the investigations conducted by the TRC. You have several other organizations supporting that particular exercise. And I see a lot of people trying to exploit it for, trying to attach some tribalistic feeling and sentiment towards this whole issues. We are not particular about whether a particular tribe or a particular kingsman participated in the war. We are interested in ending the culture of impunity. In my view, if the culture of impunity shall end, that is the only way we will have a genuine reconciliation. Because the very first thing, people should be held accountable for their action. People should be held accountable for their actions. If people are not held accountable for their actions, we will continue to have a reoccurrence of almost all of the things that happened during the civil conflict. It is glaring that Liberians are no longer interested in going back to the dark days. I am not convinced. I am not one of those who believe that if we establish the War and Economic Crime Code, Liberians will definitely go. It would definitely, in the words of Prince Johnson, that it would bring chaos in this country. Liberians are sick and tired of war. Liberians are just sick and tired of war. Every other Liberian, even with the one who we considered as the average youth, those people do not even want to be manipulated. In a quest for appeasing a particular someone's personal interest. So we need to actually adhere to the recommendations of the TRC report. So the president has further nominated some people into make some appointments or nominations. When necessary, those nominations are subject to Senate confirmations. Let's see what to say. Let's look for the statement. They say the Executive Mansion, Republic of Liberia, the President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Joseph Jomo Boakat has made additional nominations in government affecting several lines, ministry, and agency. These nominations, where applicable, are subject to confirmation by the Liberian Senate. The nominees are Anthony F. Augustine C. Tamba, Deputy Director General from for Technical Services, Liberia Civil Aviation Authority, Madam Lopuji Kandaka, Registrar General Cooperative Development Services, Madam Edwina J. Bweman, Deputy Registrar for Cooperative Development Services, Cooperative Development Agency, Madam Augusto N. Watson, Deputy Registrar for Gender, Youth Promotions and Program Development, Cooperative Development Agency, Mr. Funu Edwin Tisdale, Deputy Director for Operation Liberia National Fire Service, Mr. Christopher Sankulu, Director General, Liberia Agriculture Commodity Regulatory Authority, LACRA, Mr. Godi Afa Kotu Gongoli, Deputy Director General for Operations and Technical Services, Liberia Agriculture Commodity Regulatory Authority, LACRA. Number 8 is Mr. Amara M. Kamara, Commissioner, Liberia Electricity Regulatory Commission. Mr. Charles Brown, Labor Inspector, Ministry of Labor. Mr. Henry Benson, Managing Director, Cable Consortiums of Liberia. Mr. Sheikh Sekou K. Sharif, Islamic Advisor to the President, Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. Mr. Emmanuel M. Houghton, Deputy Managing Director of Operation National Food Authority. Mr. Amos Yalabwaka, Deputy Director General of Financial Intelligence Agency, FIA. Mr. Thomas King Grant, Ambassador at Large Trade and Investment Representative of Liberia in the state of Delaware. Mrs. Zalaquina Konin, Trade and Investment Representative of Liberia in Ontario, Canada. Mr. Sheikh Al Mustafa Kuyate, is that Sheikh who participated in the? Yes, I'm sure this is him. Ambassador at Large, Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs. Dr. Samuel Toole, Deputy Minister for Planning, Research and Development, Ministry of Education. Mr. Kabakanga, Assistant Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, Ministry of Education. Mr. Fasam Howard Nyeswa, Assistant Minister for Early Childhood Education, Ministry of Education. Mr. Nathaniel K. Siko Jr., Assistant Minister for Science, Technology, Vocation, and Special and Inclusive Education, Ministry of Education. Mr. Sunan Tura, Assistant Minister for Students, Personnel Services, Ministry of Education. Mr. Erison W. Waka, Assistant Minister for General Administration, Ministry of Education. Mr. Thomas Momopaka, Assistant Minister for Planning and Research. The list is actually long. Let's go. But I think we are concluding, Mrs. Herenta Biren, Assistant Minister for Administration, Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Mr. Matthew Nyampu, Assistant Minister for Information Services, Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Mr. Nat Baji, Assistant Minister for Technical Services, Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism. Honorable Johnny Wefor, Commissioner and Chief Executive Officer, Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau. Mr. Abraham T. Simon, Executive Director and Principal, Deputy Aircraft Accident Investigation. Victor W. Pusse, Deputy Managing Director for Administration and Finance, Forestry Development Authority. Mr. Augustine B.M. Johnson, Deputy Managing Director of Commercials and Technical Services, like Forestry Development Authority, FDA. Madam Nora G. Boyd, Managing Director for Community Conservation, Carbon Investing, Forestry Development Authority. Further, President Bouakat acknowledged those nominated and appointed to continue to demonstrate diligence, commitment, integrity, and professionalism and loyalty in in service to country. So that's it. So at this point in time, we will take our break. We have just been notified that our guest is here. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we have our guest.
Hello, guys. My name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm your humble presenter of the program, The Focal Point. As the demand for critical analysis and reliable information continues to be the appetite of the Liberian population, it is incumbent upon media practitioners to always be objective, independent, and fact-based in their reportorial duties. The clarion call for credible, reliable, and issue-based presentation must be considered at all times. In the wake of these functions and duty to service, it is only one show that stands tall among the rest. Focal Point, a program where we scrutinize, examine, and cross-examine by allowing the audience participate by posting and calling and commenting on the subject under discussion. We bring the guests in studio, we quiz them, and analyze the issue. Once again, this is your regular Monday friend, K. Lyndon Togbad, on the Focal Online TV.
All right. So as I said earlier on, we are not going to discuss a regular politics issue today. We will be talking specifically about education, most importantly about the progress that has been made in by some individuals, by some brilliant like to contributing towards nation building on the other side. So a few minutes ago, I was being notified by my technician that the guest has arrived. We have been waiting for him. The traffic issues, the issues of the traffic congestion has been one of the most important issues. Now have with us in studio, Sumala. Okay, so we now have with us in studio Sumala Kezulu. Sumala, welcome to the program is Focal Points on Focal Online TV. Thank you. Tell the audience who is Sumala. So because other people who are watching could be basically concerned about who Sumala is and who Sumala Kezulu is.
So, Ismail Akiazu is a sophomore student at University of Liberia and a member of the opposing team, and also the acting head mentor of one of the nation's leading organization for the youth in the that in critical thinking called the Academy, which I'm here to talk about today. And in addition, I'm also a STEM advocate and climate justice advocate also.
Right, All right. So we also we have the technical glitch. So we are now back. We are now back on air. So we are very sorry. These issues about the internet. Yeah. So Smart, thank you, sorry for the interruptions. Let's keep the ball rolling. So let's discuss about some of those positive impacts, some of those positive gains you have made within the quizzing arena.
Uh, I think mostly I would say there are people out there that look out to me as a mentor, and maybe you're trying to get into zone, and then your colleagues will share in your inbox. This is what we learned today. And if you have any question, you can ask the person that was teaching that day.
How long has this initiative? Because this is a very brilliant initiative. How long has it been going on?
You from the for the learning hour has been
Yeah, the
going
learning aspect particularly
learning hour has been going on for 5 months now.
for 5 months.
Five months now.
Mhm. And how are the people reacting? How are the students? You spoke about 250
15,
and
yeah.
250. They have some of them are from in different
Different
counties.
counties.
You know, how are you managing in terms of the flow? How are they reacting to the impacts that you continue to make
Yeah,
in
actually,
terms of the coordinations and all the
yeah.
stuff?
Actually, I didn't expect that level of coordination.
Mhm.
Like, it's almost like these students, these students needed something like this, but
Mhm.
nobody has been there to give it to them. So their response has been very, very positive.
Mhm.
And every time we have a class, they will gather, they will listen, give their friends the utmost respect. After every class, they ask questions. If there's any gap in their knowledge,
Mhm.
we correct it. Because the main thing is to prepare our members for the WAS
Mhm.
exams. So another thing we do that I do personally for me or for my aspect, because at the University of Liberia, I'm also doing a certificate program in interdisciplinary research.
Yeah.
So every Monday and Friday,
Mhm.
I run a class called the Essentials of Research. So every Monday and Friday, I will announce, okay, for tomorrow, or like today is Monday, so I will be presenting on research hypothesis.
Mhm.
So if you guys can come over, you will start to understand what a research hypothesis is. Obviously, because we are dealing with tertiary part, so we are going step by step. You will learn what research hypothesis is, later on research question, and then literature review and so forth. So mostly that's a new thing that they call it show to them.
You spoke about the issues about you want to be totally different from other organizations that tend to promote STEM, which has to do with science, technology, engineering, and
Mathematics.
mathematics. What distinguishes you, or what will definitely distinguish you from other organizations
What
that are involved into similar initiatives?
Yeah. What will distinguish us or make us to look somehow different is
Mhm.
that we are making sure that our views won't be like from one person.
Mhm.
Like although I'm the only one here today,
Mhm.
but I spoke with several of the students
Mhm.
and get their views on what should I talk about if this question, what should I say.
Mhm.
So we have made sure that all our programs are coming from different views. So we have created like a big picture, like a mosaic. Each view come from a particular student.
Mhm.
Is different, is unique to that student, but we have incorporated everything together into under one umbrella called the academy.
Mhm.
So the message, everything is coming to the public
Mhm.
as the academy, but it has the view and the work and the intellect of 215 students across 8 different counties in Liberia. So that's what makes us different. We are many, and our views are unique to our students, although it always come out as a unified force.
Okay, a unified force.
Yeah.
So, what are the counties you spoke about? You having a diversified leadership or decentralized leadership in some of the political side.
Yeah.
What are the counties you have the leadership structures in?
Okay, so we have Monserrado, Margibi, Grand Basso, Bon County, Grand Jide, Grand Crew,
Have been involved with those 8 counties.
those 8 counties, because we have reached out to students there
Mhm.
and they have started growing. Normally it's Facebook, so Facebook is universal. So
Yeah.
if you reach out to a student, you'll be like, Lofa is the last one. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
Lofa is the last county.
Mhm.
So if we reach out to a student from, let's say from Lofa, they'll
Mhm.
be like, I'm so happy to be here,
Mhm.
and I believe that what you guys are doing here are actually positive to society, and will help students from my county. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I go back on my campus in my community and tell my I know this organization, and I believe if you guys are a part of it,
Mhm.
it will also help you, and you also help society.
Okay.
So that's how we have been going so far. So if we meet somebody from Lofa, he will tell his friends, and then they will gather themselves, and then they will tell me, okay, we are, let's say, trading no more. So we are going to start our own county challenge where we have our own discussion to impact Lofa County.
Okay.
But we also have a nationwide chat where all the students meet. But in their Bureau County chat, they will reach out to me like this. We have an organization here that we think you can talk to, and if I talk to them, and then these students will link with that organization, and then they will have their program to and have those programs that will impact their side. But on a national level, they will come. Okay, we from Lofa, we believe that if the academy do this, it will impact Liberia because from our perspective, we have seen this in the community and that. So if the program we are coming out, if it's structured in this way, Lofa will benefit, and in the long run, Liberia will benefit.
Lofa will benefit, and Liberia will definitely benefit
Yeah.
in the long run. So what have been there? Because sometimes you spoke about UI. This organization is into a particular struggle to further equip people who are actually preparing to go for WAST and other, particularly other people who are about to enter the universities and other universities and colleges across Liberia. What is your view regarding the fact that sometimes when people go red wise, particularly Liberian students, and they receive, sometimes they have a very bad marks in mathematics and those science related subjects. What is your impressions?
I think maybe it might be the students' fault, and also there isn't a lot of programs out there or tutorials out there that are helping the student to brush up just before the WAS in order to get them fully prepared. So and none of our programs are WAS tutorial, which we will do like 2 weeks before the main exams. So 2 weeks before the main exam, we will have our WAS tutorials. This time around, it won't be online again. So we'll do like physically. We'll have scholars or veteran scholars from all walks of society that will volunteer. Okay, I will come and say, okay, students, I will be teaching from economics today, and I will go to the WAS syllabus and say this topic is a WAS selected topic, and it will come during the exams.
Are you convinced that this particular strategies will further reduce the level of failures in one's experience?
Yeah. As though normally I believe that repetition is the mother of skill. So if somebody is supposed to learn something, they have to do it on multiple occasions. If you want the Liberian students to have better grades in mathematics, they have to keep doing it over and over. After you can't just teach it to them like why is in May, teach it to them last December. They will forget about why they are supposed to write.
Let's talk about the issues, the fact that most Liberian schools who are actually preparing their students for what a major public examinations do not have some of the best equipments, and most of the schools do not have the issues about laboratory and well set up laboratory. What do you make of those things? They said that is one of the factors for which Liberian students are actually underperforming in most of those public tests.
I think that also play a part. I think so. I've always had the belief that if the schools can allow their students to be more practical or equally practical and theoretical, also help their grades at the national level and the sub-regional level. So that's the main focus of our STEM program. We want to advocate at the national level, bring STEM into the educational curriculum, the high school curriculum, bring STEM into it. Schools should prioritize these subjects, give more focus to lab. That each high school should make sure they have their lab well equipped, and students will be able to learn from hands-on materials. They will know what they are talking about in the classroom. So the issue of STEM isn't a tangling between the veterans communities to a veteran have been discussing it. STEM should be in Liberia should take STEM seriously if we want to catch up with those nations that are gradually making progress on the international scene. So,
What do you make of people, those Liberians who have traveled, and sometimes when they try to compare their experience from what they obtained from the outside world to commemorate or to maybe reflect it on the Liberian scenario, and sometimes they say that we have a lot to do. What do you say to those people?
no matter what I would say,
Mm-hmm.
if you are saying that we have a lot to do,
Mm-hmm.
then who are those people that make up the we?
Mm-hmm.
Eh? You will say, okay, we have a lot to do, and then you don't want to be part of that we. Okay, I'll be grabbing my point. You will say, okay, our education
Yeah,
system,
they should be involved.
we should all be involved.
Uh-huh.
If any change is going to be made,
Mhm.
it will have to come from ourselves directly. That's the only way it's going to happen. So that's what the academy is all about. If the student body will say the national government isn't prioritizing education, we are not going to beg them anymore. We are going to make them see education as a priority. So that's why all of our programs, we are making sure we reach out to these organizations. Our incoming weeks, our MOU is being prepared with another sister organization called Inno Unite. They are mainly focused into the STEM aspect.
Mhm.
So if if that MOU is signed, we are also preparing a bill for the House of Representatives. So in June of this year, if that MOU is signed in coming weeks, the Academy and Unite will meet the House of Representatives and present that bill and say this should be a part of the educational sector in Liberia. We need this. The students need this.
Sometimes when people take bill to the national legislature, they get disappointed on the basis of the fact that those bills will just be laid there, and the lawmakers who supposed to be doing our job by exerting oversight and representing the Liberian people, both the student community and all the welfare and all of the welfares of the Liberian people, will just be looking at those bills, and those bills will be lied down. What do you do? What will you do? Should you have your bill submitted? Should you have a particular petition submitted to the national legislature, and the national legislature does not want to act on those material?
Like what I've always believed in, what I also impacted the group academy is the use of the social media platforms. So before we send our bill from both organizations as a unified body to the House of Representatives, we are going to make sure we garner enough media support in the mass media. We reach out to radio stations or similar to what we are doing here, and make sure the public knows that parents out there know that their student needs this. If you have a child and you say, okay, I want my child to be a doctor, and your child agree, okay, I think if I be a doctor, it will make my parents proud. That child needs to know that before you become a doctor, you have to pass through this stage, in this stage. So the MOE needs to make sure that the child entering school should meet what is necessary to make he or she reach out, learn these things. The equipment that will be involved, and also qualified teachers, and all these international programs, like updated curriculum with all the latest advances in technology and science involved, so that the students will know in 2022 this happened in science. These these innovations were made. These progresses were overseen by a certain group of people, and the students will be informed. The student will be informed about it, and they will know that we are doing something. And when I get there in the next 2 3 years, I'll know what has happened in the last 3 years of my formation, and I will know where there is a gap that I can make sure that that gap be filled by me or by people like me.
Okay. So, what do you hope, with all of these brilliant ideas, what do you hope to see Liberia, uh, maybe spanning from 10 years from now, when you have a lot of Liberians fully participating and fully involved into this particular exercise?
I think if God's willing, we are able to garner enough support
Mhm.
and more cooperation from our members and also from the general public,
Mhm.
we will find out that we will have students, because most of our members will be in the next 2 3 years will be at high school, and those coming after them also will be graduating. So in the next 10 years, if if these students are by that time of their lives in universities around the country, they are going to university with that defined mindset that if there is to be a change in society, I am going to make that change, or someone like me will make that change. So we will have people going to colleges with the defined mindset of change making. So it won't be go to college, graduate, done. National government provide me job. I'm supposed I have a degree. I'm supposed to wear. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the student will know that I can make a change. If I'm going to be a sociologist, it means I am capable of counseling somebody
Mhm.
that, or like the way we're used, I can counsel them and say what you are doing isn't good, because if you continue to do this, you will harm your country.
Mhm.
You will harm your country. So I will be able to counsel them to leave that path and get on the right path.
Mhm.
That way, each one help one, and inevitably Liberia will be uplifted by the general support of each and every one of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your upcoming program. You spoke about a very important programs where you are soliciting the participations of the youthful populations, particularly the students community, and you want them to be involved. You want them to fully participate in this particular program. What is this program you are talking about, or that is on the way?
Our program in a way
Mhm.
is we haven't given it an official name yet,
Mhm.
but it will be structured in such a way that we are going to visit schools around schools firstly in Monserrado,
Mhm.
and then we start to move to the various counties. We are going to explain to the students what STEM is, the impacts, the benefits,
Mhm.
and how to get them interested and involved with STEM, and to make sure that we show them vividly, right?
Mhm.
So that's what we are trying to do. But we are still in the embryonic stage, trying
Mhm.
to form the program and get it set up
Mhm.
in such a way that when we are ready to reach the public, we are fully prepared, and they will see, as the students will know that if I do this, or if I listen to what my colleagues are saying,
Mhm.
I think positive change will be made in society. So that's what we are trying to do. But at this moment,
Mhm.
we are trying to get the partnership. So we have our ideas, and they have their ideas. So when we conglomerate, we will combine our ideas and then create a specific plan of action. We will pass through this route. We will take certain steps, and we hope to get certain results. That's
Mhm.
why we are foreseeing.
You will continue to talk about the issues about having other organizations that share like mind in the wake of promoting these issues about STEM. What are the organizations you have spotted so far, you have identified that you wish to collaborate with?
Yeah. After Unite,
Mhm.
our second partnership, which we actually discussed before Unite, but
Mhm.
we haven't gone as far as the memorandum of understanding issue, is a Youth Action for Transformation Network.
Mhm.
That organization is mainly focused on climate justice and so forth. So that's another organization, and another one we wish to work with is Educate the Next Gen.
Mhm.
Educate the Next Gen is another, and another one we wish to work with. We have been discussing it amongst ourselves. Is of Messengers of Peace. These are organizations that have been around for the last 4 or 5 years, and they have reached to a level that we hope one day to be at that level. And the only way that we think we can get there is by reaching out to them and learning from them, at the same time making our own impacts.
Is it that you people have communicated an official community? They are you people have sent forward of official communications,
Yeah,
uh,
for the first two, we are saying,
and what when your receptions to your
okay,
communications?
for the first two, they have been very okay with it,
Mhm.
and they really reach out to us and say, okay, we hear what you have to say,
Mhm.
but okay, put it down in writing,
Mhm.
create a specific plan, and then
Mhm.
you send it to us. What we are going to do, we are going to add our own plan to your plan. Then we have a master plan
Mhm.
of both organizations coming out to the public as a general force or
Mhm.
unified force to make sure that the impact the impact will be larger.
Mhm. The impact will be larger. Sometimes when you guys are in the process of looking for sponsorship, because this is a very brilliant idea, many people could be very impressed and wanting to support you. What effort have you guys made in terms of reaching out to the UN agency or to help support this particular initiative? Because this is a very brilliant
Okay.
initiative.
Okay, what we are in fusion for ourselves is,
Mhm.
if normally if you are trying to reach out to these NGOs, these international NGOs like UN,
Mhm.
the US Embassy and so forth, your organization has to be a registered organization, or they
Mhm.
should have their article incorporation.
Mhm.
And so since we don't have that, what we are going to do, we are going to start making the impact here, creating an introduction for us to these organizations that will be watching. But we don't know
that will further smooth your chances of obtaining those legal documents.
Those legal documents. So we are going to make sure we will make enough impact in such a way that if one day we are given an opportunity to speak to UNICEF, and then we say, okay, we are from the academy, they won't say, what is the academy? They will say, we have been waiting to see you. We have been waiting for this day where you will come out to us and say, we have this.
Because impact before recognition.
Yes. Yeah. So we want to make the impact first, and then when we reach to them, we'll say, okay, we have seen what you have done. I would believe that if we add our resources to yours, we believe that you can do even more than what you have done with the little resources that you had at the time of making those impacts. Okay. That has been our plan of action so far.
All right. Do you have do you have some leaderships that within your organizations you wish to talk about?
Yes, we have. Our organization is organized in such a way that every student, so it's limited divided into scholars and mentors. So for the mentor aspect is made up of veteran scholars or students who graduated starting last year that will impact those already or still in high school. So okay, I came from this role before, and since you are in high school, I believe that if you take this role, because I took this role and I got a bad result from here. So if you are taking this role, don't take this step or that step. And we have the scholars, which obviously are those still in high school and are coming up and with that youthful mindset, that innocent mindset of, they don't have that exact life view here. They don't have their world view. They feel that the world is this. The life goes on in such a way. So, and then we have 4 different committees. So there we have our program planning committee, our constitutional amendment committee, our mobilization outreach and recruitment committee, and our disciplinary actions committee. So that is our organizational structure. So at the top, I'm only there to catalog who is coming, which committee to go, because our members.
So you relinquish yourself of all of the power by empowering other people. You can feel part of the organization.
Yes, they make it, because all the is okay. We discuss this and we think this will be the right way. Why do you take it out? Then I will just come and say, all right, you guys did well in this aspect, but what about this? And then they will go back and discuss it in that way. Each and every one of us say something about the decision that we have made. So if those decisions reach out to the public, it's coming from all of us, and everybody knows exactly what is being said and for what reason these things are being said.
Okay, how another questions before we ask the public pertaining to as to whether they have a view or concern pertaining to what we are discussing. How can one be associated with this particular venture, this organization?
To be a member, firstly, you must be an active debater or quizzer. And also, you should be above age 15. So that have been our yardstick or our benchmark. So what you have to do, if you are above 15 and you are involved with both quizzing and debate, we have our Facebook page. On Facebook, you go to the academy. There is there. Our logo is there. A green book. It's a green open book with rising sun coming out of it with our name above. The academy and our motto: "Live, Learn, Grow, Impact." So if you reach out to that page, you message us, I want to be part of the academy. We will. The page admins will guide you through the process and tell you, okay, if you do this, you'll get added to the platform, fill out your membership form, select what committee you want to be a part of, and then you start making impact yourself.
I'm a quizzer. I have been on the debate board, and I am a debater, but I do not have the specialty. I do not have control over any of the science discipline. Am I allowed?
Yeah, you are a debater. You are allowed, because debaters are coming with that level of oratory here. The rhetoric is the understand the ideas of public speaking. These are major attributes of those that want to do advocacy. So if these people enter and then they learn from their first, so you learn from us in the that have control over the science subject, and then they too will learn from you. You will teach them. If you meet certain people, you want to give them certain message about the science that you know, take this step. And then the scientists will tell you, if you are also going out there and you want to deliver a speech or whatever, take these steps in order for your speech to be organized, to be society law, their ideas to be cataloged, all nine such when they are presented, the reader will understand exactly what they are trying to say, where they want to get with the information that they are sending out there. So it's a 50 it's a 50 which you learn from me, I learn from you.
Is that your goal? Do you have a pledge to further incorporate those people who may have a particular interest in the art subjects, even though your fundamental concern right now?
No, I think I didn't speak about it. No, our fundamental concern is in really science, but it's actually everything. Everything that involves academic excellence. So we are creating these. We are also, well, although I don't know why I'm saying this, although it's a secret discussion still in the program planning chat room. So we also have our creative writing program also coming up. So what we do, the program planning committee discuss these things first, like as we go along, learning when we started learning hours started first, then students started to respond to it. So what happened is, for learning hour, every Tuesday is the science subjects. You come physics, biology, chemistry, and maths. You teach it's being taught on every Tuesday at the academy. So every Thursday for the arts. And that's what I want to teach. I want to teach literature today. I want to teach geography, history, economics, so forth. So everybody everybody was given a chance to say something. So in come, we are trying to form hope as we go ahead. We are starting with still first. So we started with still, we get the response. Okay, so we are getting this response for still. We need to get another response from the creative writing aspect, from the public speaking aspect. So we are going along in such a way that we will touch every single part of society, every single part of like a scholar or student involved academic, in such a way that all of our members become well rounded and they will understand exactly what we are trying to do, and everybody will come with that kind of multi-layered perspective on everything that involves academic excellences.
Okay. So okay, folks. Shumala Skiazu is our guest, and we have been talking for a while now. We have been talking the issues regarding education, their initial steps they are taking to incentivize a lot of young people into the issues about promoting STEM in Liberia. Other organizations too have said about the need for us to promote the issues about STEM. And he is also here amplifying the voice that Liberia need to actually prioritize the issues about STEM in Liberia. So Sumala has been our guest, and we have been talking. The conversation has been mostly about education. My name is K. Lincoln Topa, and we have Sumala. So let's go over to Sumala because he just spoke about having a plan to also incorporate not particularly those people who are interested in the science, the mathematics, the technology. They also have a program that they have not fully launched that particular program. Let's go over to Sumala to talk about what are some of those things they hope to do in terms of spreading the message across. You having your based upon what you have said, you have the membership. Is it that you intend to expand this membership, or are you complacent with the 250 membership?
No, we are not. We are trying to make sure we get as many students as possible. There are many students out there that need this. They need this message. So we are trying to make sure that we are using this month of March and April to reach out to the multimedia.
It's an awareness.
It's an awareness period between March and April. We're trying to reach out to online TV stations, radio stations, and make sure students out there need to hear about this. So as we go along, we hope that with these media engagements, we will see a boost in our membership, and then the more people we have, the more will be able to impact. So we want to see our members as assets instead of liability. So they won't just be there; they will also be doing exactly what we wish our students should do.
Okay. Do you have, because you mentioned a very a very massive organization, because this particular initiative we incorporate a lot of students on board. There will be people who have interest. Many Liberians will definitely express interest. Do you have? Is it that you guys are crafting the policies to regulate how students will definitely be able to resolve some internal wrangling, just in
Yeah.
case it suffers?
No, at the national onset, we
Mhm.
made it clear. Okay, people are allowed to have their various outside views.
Mhm.
It could be political,
Mhm.
religious, and what have you.
Mhm.
But if we meet at the academy,
Mhm.
we are all playing for one team.
Mhm.
We are playing for Team Liberia.
Mhm.
So what we expect all of our members to do is, if you are bringing an idea to the board,
Mhm.
do that. Like say, if I bring an idea from my point of view, I bring it exactly from Smile Ikea's junior view. It won't be like I'm from this, or I am from this religious background, or from this ethnic background, or from this political background, and what I've learned from there, I'm trying to bring it to force it on the students. No, I bring it from my point of view and say, students, I think if we do this,
Mhm.
it will help each and every one of us, and they will say, okay, from our point of view also, it won't, so we are trying to make sure that we don't mix what we do with external factors.
Mhm.
Even though it will be a very hard thing to do, to have students like talking outside of their politics, they want to put these things. So we are trying to make sure, if anybody is giving their point of view about a particular issue that we are discussing on, or like every Wednesday is our general discussion. Every
Mhm.
Wednesday, all of the members
How do you intend to basically protect the female who probably
are
we
involved with us.
yeah we
Okay.
are involved with you guys, because
So
they feel they are the one who often feel targeted into those particularly the issues about sexual exploitations and other issues.
okay. So what we normally do that we
Mhm.
have normally, or if you are dealing with students,
Mhm.
or cognitively, you normally think that, okay, I'm dealing with underage people. So we try to conscientize our males that mostly the females are involved with this process.
Mhm.
And when they are speaking, you give them a certain level of respect that
Mhm.
maybe you won't give to your fellow male,
Mhm.
because as they start to speak, they will somehow feel like maybe
Intimidated.
intimidated and so on
Mhm.
and so forth. So you have to get in a level of respect, and then they will be able to tell us what they have to say in such a way that when they speak, their ideas will be prioritized. So amazingly, most of our active members and our impactful members are actually females, actually. So that has been another boost for us.
Mhm.
So every time we are having discussions, and then we have females coming out and saying, let's do this, let's do it. It's not like when we ask.
Well, yeah, yes, you just said something very sound, which of course I want you to further expand on. Getting a lot of female involved into education is very very rare, and not many not many young females see the only thing you see them probably they are involved, they have that kind of pleasure, they have that kind of desire for factions and other things. What are the strategies you use to get them on board?
You know what? I think if you are trying to build an organization, you want it to be gender balanced.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that if a female is coming from outside,
Mm-hmm.
she has to see that for the females that are in this
She's had to
organization,
see herself being an embodiment of the process.
she has to see herself as an embodiment of the process.
Mhm.
And the females that are actually there, that are already in that organization, are being respected,
Mhm.
are being given the chance to see what they have to say, and what is very important to them, and they feel respected and honored and respect and valued also.
Mhm.
So we have a certain number of female members.
Mhm.
So they are normally the ones that also go out and tell their friends.
Mhm.
We have the organization. If you join it, it will be very good for us. It will, and you will make an impact.
Mhm.
And also, if you come there, we do things this way and that way.
Mhm.
So please don't feel maybe left out if
Mhm.
discussions are being carried on. Because normally, if you enter an organization, you just meet everybody is talking about this. You feel shy because you are the new guy or the new girl. So you don't want to like say, okay, I'm gonna wait. So join us. Let's talk, and then I normally start building a friendship aspect, enter your inbox and say, welcome, thank you for being here,
Mhm.
or we do things this way and that way, so that you feel, or you can join the discussion
Mhm.
and feel a part, and you can also start your own discussion and say, okay, I noticed this thing in society, and I believe that we need to do something about it. You start your own discussion, your colleagues will join you. Yeah. So
How do you intend? For instance, I'm not academically strong. Well, I have been pleased. I have been serving as a particular player of a debate team or either a quizzing team. But sometimes my writing is not favorable, and by the time I write and other people go to laugh, how do you intend as the vision bearer? How do you intend to regulate all of those things to even issues about bullying and all this stuff?
oh, okay. So normally what we do, we try to, if we are having informal discussions, we try to make sure you can normally write. We are amazingly nowadays the Liberian Facebook community are normally writing in our pidgin English. So you are allowed to write in your pidgin English. So, but if we have a formal discussion, we normally tell you can give out your ideas using a voice message. You can record yourself and then you send a recording. Your friends will hear it. So you take your time and see what you have to say fluently and coherently.
Okay, Sumala Kiazul, that is a very, very brilliant idea. Have you been able to receive some level of recommendations from parents? Yes, but my child is actually in this particular thing, and based upon his association with SYZ, he has been making some refined progress in his academic
Yeah,
sojourn.
Normally, what we do on our page, we have this series of contents that we call Scholar of the Day. So we will post like, or particularly we will post one of our students, and then we say this is one of our members. He or she is involved with this. He has certain ambition and so forth. From this is where we normally get the commendation from parents, and they will see their kids be posted on this platform and say, okay, thank you. Because I have noticed my child at certain time of the day, they normally grab their phone, they want to join a meeting, they want to join the discussion. But say, I didn't know that this is what they were talking about. But so far, thank you for creating this space for them. We I've noticed that they are growing positively so far, and thank you. We want to see them. We want to see them grow even more, and we are watching your progress.
Okay, we have discussed a lot. We have a lot. Some people are watching. Some people are watching. We had a very good view when we started the show, but because of the internet probably it is now stable. Thanks to our technical team who have been from the backstage who have been able to settle every other thing. Now we have a very good quality of the video. So smaller we have actually pressed up against time. Is We will just appreciate you giving in your party comments. Probably within your party comment time that is afforded to you, you can utilize that moment to touch on other things that we didn't touch about regarding your organizations or perhaps your your upcoming activities.
Uh, Before I leave,
Mhm.
I would like to say out there, friends out there that will watch this, that the academy is for everybody.
Mhm.
If you're a scholar and you are above the age of 15, involved with either quizzing or debate, don't feel shy. Reach out to us. We are here for you. The academy is for everybody. So if you go on Facebook, you search for the Academy, THEACADMY. So if you search for us, our logo is there. Our logo is designed as a white field, a white square field with a green book or green open book on a rising sun coming out of it. At the top is the organization's name, the Academy. At the bottom is the motto, Learn, Grow, Impact. So if you look at our motto as or as an aspiring member, you start to understand exactly what we are about. So we tend to make our members learn the most important things that will impact society, and then grow in the in their intellectual journey, and in the long run, start to impact society.
Okay, so yeah, just give us your party comment. Just give us a party comment.
Well, I would like to say thank you to Football TV for having me, and I also like to say thank you to the students out there that have been yeah, in the journey so far. We have been moving together, and we haven't stopped so far, despite the hurdles that may come. So for watching also.
All right, so you just heard Sumala Kiazu gave him out his party comment. He has been with us here, and we have been discussing issues involving education and some of those important issues they are mostly engaged into. So my name is Kay Lyndon Toba. At this point in time, this is we run down the curtain of today's presentation, particularly the program, the Focal Point and Focal Online. See, tomorrow we will be back here to bring you the program inside the print media and good evening, Liberia. Thank you.